Hey guys, it's Ariel. So, on this first right quadrant, I'm going to be talking about how to do a wash and go. So, the first thing we're going to do is take about an inch and a half section, parting it off with our fingers. Our fingers are our best tool of choice working with curly textures of hair. So, curly textures of hair need lots of moisture, lots of water. Water is your best source of moisture. Here I am applying the product. I am using the Curl Contouring Lotion and the Super Diffuser by Total Results, making sure I apply it in our praying hands motion, sandwiching the hair in between my hands, making sure I do not leave out the roots. I am also doing my raking motion where I am raking. Raking allows me to distribute the product that's in between my fingers onto the hair, getting it on all the curls. And then I am also doing my shingling. And shingling is where I place my brush onto that section against my hand, allowing that product to also be evenly distributed through. These same techniques I'm going to use through this entire section of her hair. Once you have done a section, you want to leave it alone. Do not bother it. The more you play with it, the more you mess with it, the frizzier the hair will get. And us curly girls do not like frizz. So once you've gotten the product evenly distributed, you've raked it, you shaked, and you've gotten those curls distributed nice and evenly, you want to leave it alone. So we're looking for large clusters to avoid frizz. So as you can see, I'm kind of working through the pieces of hair, looking for clusters. After you have raked and shaked the hair, you'll start to see those large clusters. And when I said leave that section alone after you're done, you really want to leave it so you do not create frizz. So the amount of product that we're going to be using on the hair is dependent on the density and the diameter of hair. So sometimes you don't need more product, you just need more water. So if the client's hair is super fine, you want to make sure that you're not using too much product, but just enough to give them that definition and the hold. If you feel like the hair is drying out, simply spray water. Water again is our main source of moisture, so you can never get too much water. And as you can see, I'm raking, I'm shaking, I'm defining and making sure I get those ends. We always save the ends for last, just so that we can make sure that we define them and get the enough moisture on them as needed. As you can see in this area, I need a little more product on her ends just to get the frizz away. So I'm just raking in that section again. Also, you want to make sure you do not manipulate the hair until a cast is formed. So what a cast is that crust that is created from your gel or your curl product. After the hair has dried 60%, you can play and manipulate with the hair. You can add more volume, you can piece the curls out, you can define your texture more. As you can see, I'm adding a little more water to the ends of her hair because I felt like it was drying out. And then I'm raking my fingers through and shaking it just to distribute that product and form those clusters. You want to pay attention to the scalps of the hair, making sure you get product on the scalp as well. If you don't get product there, the hair tends to get puffy, dries out fast, and it'll get frizzy. So you always want to make sure that you never leave out the scalp. We always tend to focus on the mid strands and the ends, but we forget about the scalp area. Here I'm mainly focusing on the ends because this mannequin's hair is really dry on the ends. So I'm making sure that I suck up most of that moisture that's falling into my hands and squeezing it onto her hair. You can also do this if your client's hair is dripping wet. You don't necessarily want it to be dripping, so you can also take your microfiber towel, soak it up or take your hand and soak it up. And this is the